I've done an interview like this, and I have to say the process is great. It was easy to follow, and I got to sit in the comfort of my own home. I think Cuzie's onto something. If this is the way the interviewing process is going to start heading, I believe Cuzie is well ahead of the curve. I hope I get that job!
Before I go into the technical demonstration of the website, I first want to show you an application that you are probably familiar with already, a job board. In Cuzie, this is an integral part of the Job Center. Every business account registered in Cuzie gets a Job Center, a system composed of a public job board and the related hiring applications. All the functionality found in our job board resembles familiar applications in job boards you've used before. Jobs created in a business account are displayed on the job board. Job seekers who find your account can easily apply to any of the jobs listed here. Now, we'll go into greater depth about Cuzie's job board later in this demonstration when I discuss creating and publishing jobs. So if you know how to use a typical job board, then you will quickly figure out how to use Cuzie. On one side of the system is this public-facing job board. On the other, the administrative dashboard. What sets Cuzie apart from other job board systems are the innovative screening and assessment tools made available on the administrative side. You've got robust text and video question creation, flexible questionnaire structuring and grouping, automatic delivery of assessments, filtering using knockout questions, scalable job applicant comparing and tracking, hiring team management. I will demonstrate all of these functionalities and how all of these applications work together. Throughout this video, we will follow along a basic workflow illustrated here. I've simplified the workflow into 5 basic steps. 1. Create questions. We suggest creating your questions and question groups first. In detail, I will show you how to structure all different kinds of questions in Cuzie. 2. Create and publish a job. I will show you how to add information to a job posting and submit it. Once posted, I will show you how to publish the job to your public job board. 3. Job seekers apply to the job. You will receive notifications of how many individuals applied and completed assessments. 4. You can then compare all the applicants' answers and responses side by side. And 5. Review any applicants' answers and recordings in detail where you can start the vetting process using filters. As we advance through the basic workflow throughout this demonstration, I'll explain each major step in greater detail. So now that you're familiar with Cuzie's structure, let's proceed to where the magic actually happens. Let's go under the hood. The first thing we're going to do is log into your business account. So from Cuzie.com, just take your mouse and click on Sign in the upper right-hand corner. You then must enter your email address and a password to log into your business account. We already have one set up for this demonstration. So after signing in, you will arrive to the JobCenter Dashboard. All the administrators of the business account will see this dashboard. And in this dashboard, you're going to see a summary of all the common controls and all of the job listings and notifications that are relevant to this business account. Now, let me just make one thing clear. This dashboard is very different than what the public will see when you're ready to publish your jobs to the job board. To see what the public will see after you've submitted all your jobs to be viewable on the internet, you just simply click on Job Center and preview Job Center as public. This is what your job board will look like after you've submitted all of your jobs. So you'll see it looks quite different than the dashboard. Now in this Job Center that the public will see, this is essentially the job board for your business account. This is a collection of all the jobs that you've submitted that will be visible to the public. So anyone who's looking to apply to a job will see an aggregation of all your jobs in this section right here. And all the job applicant has to do is click on one of these buttons to initiate the process for applying for a particular job. You'll see here that your logo will appear up here, a Google map of your location, and some share buttons to further send this to to jobs by one of these various methods: Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, or by email. To go back to the dashboard view, you just simply click on Back to Dashboard. So in your dashboard page here, you're going to notice the job section. In this job section right here, this is a listing of all the jobs that you've submitted into the system. Now, not all of these are going to be displayed in the public page, because you do have an option of hiding the job listing from the public page. You also have what's called a stealth setting right here, which allows you to keep your company's name anonymous from the actual listing. Each job exists in one of two states, active or deactive. And when in active state, the job is either in draft or published mode. As you can see here, these little indicators tell you the state and mode of the job. Now, the jobs that are visible are in active mode. And as you can see here, the office assistant job, that is deactive, and it is grayed out. When a job is in active state, it can be published to the job board, and if it's visible to the public, job seekers can apply to the job. It also means that its data can be edited and saved. If deactivated, as in this office assistant job down here, the job cannot be edited and is essentially invisible. As mentioned before, newly created jobs by default are in active state but are set to draft mode, as this new job right here. Draft mode allows users to review the job for typos and mistakes in published form before actually displaying it on the public job board. A user must set a job from draft to published mode manually for it to appear publicly on the job board. You'll notice next to each job listing here, there are highlighted number counters. These numbers represent different quantities related to those who apply to a particular job posted on the job board. The new applicants, here on the left, is a combination of applicants who just applied, as well as those that haven't been labeled or marked. One of these labels is highlighted here, called Selected Applicants. The Selected Applicants is a number counting all candidates you labeled as selected. This means you deemed a particular candidate suitable to proceed in your hiring process. Labeling is conducted in the applicants review page. Now to the right, you see the all applicants number count. The all applicants number counts every job applicant for each job listing. 4 new applicants applied to this job. 2 were selected, and you had a total of 7 applicants. Now there are other labels. Offered is one where you deem a particular candidate suitable enough to offer a position, or were already offered the position. There is also a label called Rejected, which is not highlighted in these counters. Now, for every particular job listing that we have in your job center or in your public job board, there's actually a specific page dedicated for that job. So for example, if you wanted to see what this one particular job here, the office assistant job, looks like to the public, you can just click on Manage and See Jobs Details page. And this gives you an idea of what this page will look like to a particular job applicant when he clicks on a particular job in that job listings page. So all the details that you've entered for this job is saved and displayed on this particular job details page. Now, if you want to manage a particular job, all you have to do is click on the Manage pull-down control to the right of the job listing, and you will get a menu of options to choose from. Now, suppose you wanted to edit one of these particular jobs. You just simply click on Manage, and then select Edit this job from the menu. You'll be taken to the original form that created this particular job. So from here, you just make your changes, and then when you get to the end of the form, you just click on Submit, and all your changes will be saved to the system. You can then just click on Go Back, and all of your changes will be reflected in that job. If you scroll down to the bottom section of your dashboard, you'll see the notification section, and all this is a listing of all the job-related activity that is taking place in your business account. So for example, in this line up here, it says that Monica Merkin and one other candidate applied to this office assistant job. And to the right, it tells you when that particular activity took place. So in this example, it took place 1 month ago. So you'll notice here at the top of your dashboard, we've displayed 3 main controls. Create a job, create questionnaires, create hiring team. When you create a job, you'll be taken to a form where you can enter all the details and particulars for a particular job that you have available. When you submit the job, that job will get listed here in your job section. It'll also be visible in the public job center, and this is where the job applicants will apply for that particular job. When you click on Create Questions, you will go through the process of creating questions and also being able to group those questions together. Now that is very significant because when you create a job, there is a section in the form where you'll be asked to assign a particular question group to a job. Now in Create Hiring Team, when you click on Manage Team, you'll be brought through the process of being able to invite other people to have access to this particular business account. And from there, you can share in the process of being able to create jobs, write questions, group questions together, and interact with applicants. So as I mentioned before, it's actually better to create your questions and question groups first before you create the job. So let's go ahead and create some questions and create a question group. So first you click on Create Questions. You'll be brought to your inventory of default questions. So you'll see here a list of all the particular questions that are available in your business account. You can see all of the questions. You can click on video to see all of the video questions, text questions, and multiple choice questions. So let's create a question where you require the candidate to actually type in a text-based answer. So first you click on Add Question, create your question, from the Select Answer format, you simply select Open-Ended Question, Free-Form Answer. Click Next. You'll have one last opportunity to preview what this question will look like. So you can read the question, make sure all the spelling is correct, and the syntax of how you structured the sentence and the question is okay. And you'll notice here that you'll see the box that will be provided to the candidate for answering this question. Click on Create to submit the question. And you'll notice that the flash green showed you that the question was submitted, and it now appears in your default questions list. Now suppose you wanted to create a multiple choice question, and for one of those answer options you provided other, and you wanted the candidate to expand on that explanation for other. Well, let me show you how that's done. So we're going to add a question. Let's create a particular question for IT for this demonstration. All right, very straightforward IT question about programming languages. We're going to click Next. We're going to select multiple choice, multiple answer. We're going to click Next, and we're going to provide a couple of options. Let's do Java, .NET, and JavaScript, C++. And now we're going to do the other. So obviously, if you were to put all of the particular programming languages, this list would get very long. So maybe you just want to put your main ones, and then you can provide an option called Other, and then you would instruct the candidate please specify. All you have to do is click on the checkbox, must specify answer. And what this is going to do is it's going to provide an answer box. So when you click next and you see the preview of this question, you could see that an answer box was provided for other. So that's how that works. You just simply click on create, and that particular question is now added to your list of default questions. Suppose you wanted to create a question with multiple choice answers, and particular answers were required from a candidate in order to continue on in the hiring process. These questions are otherwise known as knockouts. They form the basis for most assessments, and Cuzie makes it easy to construct these questions and to quickly see which candidates answered them correctly later on in the questionnaire review. So let's create a multiple choice knockout question. Click the Add Question button. In this first box, we'll enter the question. We'll click Next. The correct answer format for this particular question is going to be multiple choice, allow only a single answer. Click Next. We are now going to start structuring the answer choices, and the first answer choice that we're going to provide is high school. We're going to add another one, some college, another one. We're going to scroll down, click the add one more answer again, and we're going to add one more. Now, for this particular job, we're going to designate undergraduate degree as a required answer. So to structure this correctly, you must check this is correct answer for undergraduate degree and all of the degrees above. So this essentially is saying undergraduate degree and graduate degree is the required answer for this particular question, and all the candidates must answer undergraduate degree or graduate degree for this particular job if they want to be considered to continue on in this hiring process. So once you've selected those correct answers, make sure you leave the ones that are not correct unchecked. You just click Next. And here you get a preview of what that question will look like to a particular job candidate. This looks great. Doesn't look like there's any typos here. Hit Create. And you will see that the question that you have just created now appears in your list of default questions here in the list under the All Tabs list. And you'll notice here that this little icon indicates that it is a multiple choice question. If you want to go and preview the question, click on Preview, and you can preview it again. You could also go back to the process and edit that question. Or if you're totally not happy with it, you can just click Delete, and that deletes the question out of this list. So let's create a question that requires a video recorded answer. So click on Add Question and start typing out the question. Yeah, it's one of those hard, really difficult questions that are very good for video recorded type questions. Click Next, and here you're going to select the answer format. The answer format for this is video answer. Click Next. In this next prompt, you can provide a limit to the recording time for the answer response. In this particular scenario, we'll put no duration, which means the candidate can take for as long as he wants to answer that particular question. Now, if you know that you're going to be getting a lot of applicants, it's probably good to put a limitation on there. Click Next. Here you can preview the question, and it looks pretty good. So we'll just click Create. And you'll see that that question now appears in your list of default questions up top. As you see, Cuzie allows a lot of flexibility when creating questions for assessments, and this works across all industries. What really sets Cuzie apart is the ability to control the composition of your assessment questions. Cuzie provides the ability to compose all these various question and answer types, like video recorded responses, open-ended free form, and knockout multiple choice, together into a single questionnaire. Other assessment tools provide multiple choice only or video only systems. So let me show you how to group questions together. Later on, we can assign this question group to a particular job listing. Everyone who then applies to this particular job will be sent the assigned question group automatically. So let's go on and create a question group. This process is very simple. From your list of default questions, the first thing you do is select all the questions that you want to group together. So let's create a questionnaire with about 3 or 4 different questions. Let's select this first one. What is the highest level of education that you completed? I like this second one, which is an open-ended question. Please describe a time in your life when you had to overcome a major setback and what you learned from it. That's a good one. And let's select one video question. Now, how about this one? What was the biggest disappointment in your life? So this one is a type of question where the answer is recorded in video. So we've selected these 3, and we're going to group them together. All you have to do is go to this form, this prompt up here to the left, and start typing in a label for this particular group. So let's call this knockout questions, and click Save. So now you've automatically created this knockout group. You can then click Go Back, and you will see that your group of questions is now saved in the system. You can now assign this group to a job that you'll create later on in the process. We are now ready to create a job. All you gotta do is click on JobCenter and back to Dashboard. So let's go ahead and create a job. First, you just click on Create a Job, and you'll be brought to the form for creating this particular job, as you can see here. So we'll start all the way from the top. If you want to add another HR individual or recruiter to access this particular job, you can invite them here. And what you do is you just type in their email address and send the invite. What will happen is they'll get an invite to register, and once they register, they'll have access to this business account as well as this job. In the applicant screening tool, auto send questionnaire, from here you're going to select the questionnaire group that you want to assign to this job. So in the previous steps, we created questions and we created a group called knockout questions. We're going to select that group. So what will happen is all the job applicants that apply to this job, once they've completed registration, we're going to automatically send them by email a link which allows them to initiate this questionnaire that you've created. So all those questions that compose that questionnaire will then be presented to the candidate, and they will have to complete that questionnaire. From here, we're going to start providing the details for a particular job. So let's do web developer in New York. The job title is going to be senior software engineer. And here you would put all your various descriptions. So you can paste in your descriptions that you may already have in Word or from your ATS and just enter that into the box. You can put in all the various skills, the salary, and from here you can choose whether you want to display month, week, day, or hour. We're going to select annual salary here. This is a very high-paying job, as you can see. If you don't want to put the salary rate, you can just check this box. Is travel required? This one, travel is not required. The career type, this one is going to be a full-time position. And the target hiring date for this particular job, it's not required, but if we did have a target hiring date, we would just click on the box, a calendar would appear, and we would select the date. But let's choose target hiring date not required for this particular job. Now in the settings here, we've got a very cool functionality. You can customize a URL for this particular job. So let's say web developer NYC. So what's going to happen is, after this job is created, it's going to have its own job details page. This URL that you're going to create is going to be assigned to that job's details page. So you can then copy and paste that job onto other job boards, other advertisements, and that will direct people to apply through Cuzie. Now we have what's called here the hide and stealth settings, and they're very distinct. So let me explain this very quickly. Hide listing just simply means that the job that's listed on your job board, you could either allow it to appear by default, or you can hide it for a particular reason. You don't want that job to be displaying anymore. You just simply then click hide listing. Now stealth just simply means that if you want to post a job on the job board, but you don't want your name to be displayed, you simply then apply stealth. And what that does is that hides your company's name from showing. So when people apply to the job, they'll have no idea what particular company they're hiring for. This is very good if you're an agency or if you're a company who's got a very specific position and you don't want your competition to know. This setting is very good. But let's take that off for now. Now, for those of you who are EEO compliant, you can select one of these various categories. So we're going to choose here technicians for this particular job. In your scorecard criteria, what you have here is a list of all of the default criteria that will appear in your scorecard application. This scorecard appears in the video interview process, so you can just leave everything by default for now. Here, you can customize a thank you message. We've provided a default one for you, but if you want, you can change this. After a applicant applies to the job, they'll get emailed this particular message. So if you want to post this job that you're creating to Indeed and Juju, all you have to do is check these boxes off, and our system automatically will post that to your account at Indeed and Juju. Now there are optional things that you can check off down here. So if you want to specify the specific career role, provide zip, you can put all that, but just know that this is just additional information that you can use to refine the position. Just click submit, and you'll notice that the new job appears at the top here, Web Developer New York. It now appears in your list of jobs in your Job Center, and it appears at the top here in your dashboard. Now you'll notice that it's still listed as draft. That means that this job, even though it appears in your dashboard, is not yet published to the public job board. And let me show you how that is. So right here, there's only 3 jobs appearing, but you have multiple jobs in your dashboard. That's because the ones that aren't appearing are still listed as draft. So if you want to publish this to the public board, after you're done editing it, after other people have reviewed it, you just click Manage and Publish. Click Change Status, and that job will now appear on your public job board, and you can validate that by clicking on Job Center, Preview, Job Center as Public, and you can see that the job that we had just added now appears in the public job board. So let's go back. If you want to edit this job, you can do so by clicking Edit this job. If you want to see what the details of this particular job looks like, you just click See Job Details. And from here, you can take a look at it. This helps you in looking for typos, or if you want to revise something. Maybe you're not getting as good as response as you want. You can revise the headings, titles, and what have you. Just go back. So for now, you've created a job. It's posted to your Job Center, and we've published it to your public job board. All right, so you've published a job, and you now have applicants applying to a particular job. Now, the most powerful part about Cuzie is being able to view all these responses in one single interface. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. So we've got one job here that we've created a while back ago, and we've got some demonstration applicants to this particular job. So we're going to look at this receptionist job right here, and we're going to take a look at all of the applicant responses to those particular questions that were assigned to this particular job. So we're going to click on Manage, and we're going to go to See Questionnaires. Now on this page, you're going to get a log of activity that's related to this job. So you're going to get a list of numbers of people that have applied to it and all the various questions that are related to this particular job. Now I know that on December 9th, we've had 2 applicants apply to this job, and I'm going to show you that interface so you can see applicants, how they will appear side by side. So here you appear at the questionnaire answers report, and you will see that there were 2 applicants that applied to this particular position. And in doing so, they went through the particular questionnaire that was sent to them. So in this first column, you'll see that these are all of the questions that were posed to the candidates. In the second column is the candidate and a list of all of their answers and responses. And in the next column are all the other competing applicants. We weren't able to get enough models to show you how this page would display dozens and dozens of candidates. Obviously, more columns will appear to accommodate each new job applicant's completed assessment. We integrate intuitive scrolling and pagination to this interface, making it easy to browse through numerous candidates side by side, intuitively and efficiently. So as you can see here, in the first question, how many years of experience do you have working as a receptionist, secretary, or assistant? Monica Merkin here selected 4 to 6 years. Ashley Anderson selected the same. In the second question, please describe your previous experience as a receptionist, assistant, or secretary. Include your duties, responsibilities, types of people you dealt with at your previous or current position. This is a video answer, so all you have to do is click, and the video box will appear, and then you just click on play.
I am currently employed at Cliché Couture. I'm the executive assistant for the chief design officer. I've held this position for 4 years. In this position, I help the CEO manage his day-to-day agenda and help coordinate meetings and plan major events like Fashion Week Conference. We have over 20 international offices and work hand in hand with the company's other offices in making sure that all the other executives and managers' schedules are coordinated with each other. At least once a month, all the executives and key board members meet at our offices here in New York. I work with other executive assistants in planning and coordinating these very important meetings. I alone manage and maintain relationships with over 100 partners, vendors, and restaurant owners.
So as you can see, this is a great way of scaling interviews across numerous job applicants. All you have to do is go to the right, and you can see what Ashley Anderson's answer was in comparison to Monica Merkin.
At my previous job, I worked as the front desk receptionist for the investment banking division North America at Silverman Financial. I was responsible for scheduling and coordinating meetings across many of the available conference rooms in our building and at other global offices, while coordinating logistics between various in-house bankers, third-party bankers, and clients. I also handled the bookings of flights and hotel accommodations. I greeted all visitors, answered any question they had when they arrived, and ensured that they were properly directed to their rooms and personnel.
if you want to then take a look at one of these particular candidates' profiles, you just simply come up here, click on the photo, and you can take a look at all the other information that the candidate provided in their profile. Now, remember when we were creating questions, we created what we called knockout questions. Well, now is the opportunity to show you how those knockout questions get displayed when reviewing the various questionnaires related to that job. Now, we've already created a job for the purpose of demonstrating those knockout questions. So here in this Office Assistant demo, we're going to go in there and take a look at all of those responses. So you do click questionnaires, and you'll notice here that 2 people applied. For this particular job, there was 5 questions, and this status was approved. We're going to do the answers, and this is how you can quickly take a look at individuals that correctly answered or incorrectly answered particular questions inside a questionnaire. So you notice here, are you legally authorized to work in the United States? They both chose yes, and the required answer was yes, so they both answered correctly. Are you physically able to lift objects that weigh over 10 pounds over your head? The required answer was yes, and they both answered correctly. Have you ever been convicted of a crime in the United States? The required answer for this particular question was no, and it looks like Ashley Anderson answered correctly, and Monica Merkin answered incorrectly. She chose yes, and we had asked her to please describe in detail. And what's really great is that you can actually provide a simple explanation format for that particular question when you're creating those questions. And in that answer, she wrote that I was convicted of shoplifting when I was in college. I paid my fines, completed community service, and restitutions. It may or may not be enough for her to move on in the process, but at least you can see that she did not answer correctly for that required question. Do you have experience working with Microsoft Word, Excel, and Outlook? Ashley Anderson selected yes, which was the correct required answer, and so did Monica Merkin. So very quickly, as you can see, if you had a lot more applicants, you can quickly eyeball, who answered correctly and who didn't, and you can very quickly select who you want to move on in the hiring process. One practical feature built into the questionnaire review page that really makes knockout questions even more powerful is filtering. We provide the ability to filter candidates based on their answer selections to a multiple choice question. When you select to create a knockout question, the filtering functionality is automatically enabled in the questionnaire review page, as you see here. As you see here on the side, there is a link called Filter. Click this link, and a pull-down menu with all the available answer options to a multiple choice question where a specific answer is required appears. So let's select this one down here, since both of these candidates selected different answers. So if you notice, by clicking on Filter, you get a pull-down menu. Just select a particular answer from the menu, and the system automatically displays candidates that also selected the same answer option. Candidates who did not will be removed from view. So let's select no, and you notice there that Monica and her column disappeared, leaving Ashley. Now if we go and select yes, it now flip-flops and Ashley disappears and Monica stays. As you can see, this is a great way of really vetting down job applicants. Now if you want to bring all those candidates back, you just simply press clear.